It is happily a very popular one for arcades to have collected,
Yeah.
because it was such a it was one of the early, really the earliest vector graphics that like became a big hit.
Yeah. I know. I was going through. I found a vector graphic one from like '79 that was interesting, but it's useless until I find find the overlay part that I need for it because it was, I forget what it was called, but it was two knights attacking each other in overhead view,
Ooh.
and it sounds really cool. But you have pits that you can fall into. But the pits were part of this overlay thing, so it's like you don't have that. It's not being drawn. Then I'm just falling into
Right.
randomness.
Yeah. You have no idea where a pit is and where it
Yeah.
isn't, and
So that's the problem with these, the vector graphic ones. They were a little limited.
yeah.
Let's see here. Get that out of the way. There. Okay, you got yours. Oops, sorry. Now, what I did to set up on this, since it only had one controls, but because it only had one control in the arcade, but instead of us passing the same thing back and forth, I just have them the same controls mapped to both. So when
Okay.
one person is playing, make sure you put yours
The other
down.
one doesn't. Okay.
So left and right. I also mapped your fire button to either of these shoulder buttons.
Okay. Good.
Because trying to do firing when you have to take your hands off the stick is not good. And in the arcade, you had the buttons on
Yeah.
the thingy.
Exactly.
So, all right. Let's see. We got
Right.
about
So it's basically just the sticks and the top buttons.
On this one,
the end.
and then the start button starts. So,
Okay.
I figure what we'll do is just do one player mode, just go back and forth on this one.
Sure.
And then the assault one is also tanks, but it's not first person view. That was the one that was playing when you came down originally, and that one is kind of at the same time. And I don't think it's exactly competitive. I don't think it's. I don't know if it's cooperative. I don't know if you can shoot other people. But wow. Hello to. We have a new person just subscribed on there. Hi, welcome. We will be going live here in about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Hoss00312 _ hi. Also, Retro Gamer 1125 subscribed to us, I think, this morning. So hi to you too. We're going to be doing two tank games here. Two different style tank games. Battlezone and Assault. Oh, shoot. I need to change that because that says Battle 1. It's Battlezone. We got to get into the zone. Auto zone. Or Battle Zone. There we go. So, oh, yeah. Here, we'll wait for that countdown. You got to read the warnings on that nasal napalm.
Yeah. I'm sure in the ER they've had to deal with it.
Yeah. I love the when before we got this. I mean, after I tried it that one time up in Minnesota way back when, but but when we were talking about doing this for here, I looked it up on YouTube, and there's some rednecks trying, and they're, of course, they're good old boys. They're not, they do hot sauce on their channel. So they both big heaping spoonful put it in their mouth. One of them just went right back. He just spit it right back out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah. And what have you learned? So, All right. 10. We got. All right. We're coming up here.
Oh yeah, the volcanoes in the distance.
Yeah. All right. All right, guys. On to the stream. Okay. Hey, we're good. We're in frame. Okay. Hey, guys. Hi. What's up? What's up? Don't worry. We won't keep doing that. Oh, I should take my hair down. So.
Yeah, Bob. Let your hair down.
Yes.
Go for it.
Flip your hair.
Oh, Fabio.
Yes. There was, I think it was a couple of weeks back, me and Thursday were taking the hair out, and we were talking about on Charlie's Angels. You saw that movie, right?
Yeah.
When they're at the party and they flip your goddamn hair. Oh, hey, thank you for the subscription, Literate Juggalo, again. And hi, Isabel. Oh, also, some of you may, Isabel will never do that again. I've added a community goal thing for your tokens, because I have survived the Juggalo gathering. Oh, is that where you've been? All right. Well, I'm glad you survived. Hopefully everyone was safe there, as safe as Juggalos are. So, I mean, Fago will kill the COVID virus, right? So.
Well, only when you shake it up and have it explode all over everyone.
Yeah. But yeah, the new community goal, because as most of you know or should know, in December we will start our first season here of Midnight Monster Movies with Dr. Bob, Monster Kid 101. And we've been working on the script for it, and we're going to have to do the recording soon. But if we hit the community goal on there, we will schedule a stream where we read through the first script. So, you guys can be present for the read through. It's interesting. It's a different thing that we're doing. We'll see how it goes on this new format. Luckily the first season is only 6 episodes, so we may have to adjust from there. And I do know at least 2 movies that we're planning on doing for second season are Josh Kennedy's Cowgirls versus Pterodactyls, and from our good friend Hannah Robson, Bikini Girls versus Dinosaurs. I might just try to get a whole bunch of verses to make a theme on that season.
Well, I mean, the key would be to take whoever wins the first one and whoever wins the second one and then pit them together. That's the traditional tournament method of elimination for these sorts of things.
I just thought it was so funny that, Josh Kennedy has this, Cowgirls versus Pterodactyls. And then our good friend Hannah there, who, we try plugging all the time, Hannah Rama, on YouTube. And we found out, oh, she was in a movie. Oh, really? She was in a movie? What's it called? Bikini Girls versus Dinosaurs. Haven't we seen this movie? So, Isabel, I love that title. Yes. All right, guys. So, before we get into, we're doing tank games today. So we've got tank games. The first one we're going to do is Battlezone, which, by the way, let me bring up the background audio. Boom. From 1981 arcades. I know this is 1980, but, 1980, if you're in an arcade in 1981, you're going to have Battlezone playing. And then we're going to be doing Assault, which I believe was like 1988. So we'll check that when we come up. But anyway, Battlezone is a first-person tank simulator, whereas Assault is a top-down tank simulator. This first one here, this Battlezone, was a vector graphics game, which is like Asteroid and Tempest and all that, instead of being bitmap, where they have to construct your game with like sprites and things like this. Instead, this was drawn directly by the beam, by the cathode ray beam, right? Yeah. So it was very hard to emulate these or play these at home. You had one game system that did not do well called the Vector Scope, I believe. And the problem with that was it had the monitor and game thing all built into one thing. So it's not like you could hook it up to your TV. It was just right there, and it was like a small little screen. However, I've heard those have been quite the collector items now. So,
well, yeah, because they didn't last that long necessarily.
Yeah.
And by now, if you get a working one, that's actually pretty valuable.
Yeah. Yeah. So, with me here is Mowgli. I'm Bob. And also, don't forget, every Thursday here at 6, we do 4 tokens. Every Friday, we do Cliffhanger Theater, and we will be doing Chapter 6. Yeah, Chapter 6 tomorrow of 1937's Dick Tracy, which, and that's at 10 o'clock. All these times are Eastern. If you guys have not been watching Dick Tracy, it's surprisingly good. Dick Tracy is a surprisingly competent detective, and things have been going pretty good. It's just kind of surprising because our previous detective experience on serials was the 1944 Batman, and his superpower was getting his ass kicked at the end of every serial. So
I don't think it's really detective. That's more adventure.
Yeah. So, all right. Let me check here real quick. Let me do a quick sound check. Sound check 1 2 1 2.
Are we being heard?
I believe we are, since Mel has not.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Okay, that comes through too. All right, awesome. So we are set to go then. All right, guys. I guess what we're going to do for Battlezone, in case you didn't hear us in the pre-show while we were talking, I have the controls mapped to both of our controllers. Because both of these are using, dual sticks, we're not using the arcade stick on this, because as much as I love my arcade stick, it only has one stick. So we need 2 sticks. We have the same controls mapped to both of us here, so that way we don't have to keep flipping the controller back and forth. And we'll do single player games back and forth on this instead of trying to do 2-player on it. So, okay, let's go ahead and do our first one. Also, I do know sound is a little sparse on Battlezone. It's not nearly as loud as later games became. Get back here. Gotcha. Hey, that wasn't fair.
Yeah, that's where it's unfair.
Alright, I'm out. That wasn't fair. Okay, so I got to 3,000. I'm going to turn that up because that volume is real low. I don't know how the volume is over there. Get your...
I'm good.
There.
That should be fine.
Alright.
So,
Go for it. And...
I gotta get used to these controls.
Okay. You're at 3,000.
So here you see that the game AI was not terribly bright.
So Mowgli has won this round. Oh, he avoided that one. Oh, saw the bullet go past on that one.
He's gonna get me on that one. I didn't have once he.
Oh.
Glad he was not actually lined up. Oh, he's
Ah,
lined up. Yeah.
that's a cheap shot.
He's lined up.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, let's see.
Change with your right hand controller and press fire button for selecting.
Okay.
Alright, so 6,000. Alright, Mowgli won that one, 6,000 to 3,000. Real quick, let me check and see who we have in chat there. I see Isgul, I see Literate Juggalo. EQ Love, hello. Hoshi no Neko, hello. And Zenu, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Alright. Let's try this again. Yes, yes, without the oops. Oh, nice moon there. Oh boy.
Yeah, this one's a bit of a challenge.
It's like, how fast can I keep backing away?
Oh,
I hear a saucer.
yeah, he's to the saucer was, that one was to the left.
Huh? Oh. Gotcha.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, I mean,
That definitely bumps up your score.
ah, it's a good thing too, since
He's left side.
yeah. Gotcha. What in the world am I hearing? Damn. Oh, hey. Oh, I got an extra life. That's what I heard.
Oh, okay.
I was like, what am I hearing? Whoa. I don't know what it is, but I shot it.
Yes. That's. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a drone of some sort.
All right.
Well, you're setting the bar high on this one.
Yeah. I didn't do bad. And that ain't good. No. All right. Oh, high score. Okay. All right. And so you can start whenever you're ready. You should be able to. Yep.
Come on.
Yep, you got him. thought you had him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that the moon is really impressive in Vector.
Ooh, I dodged that one. Yeah, that's better angle.
Just remember, if the enemy is in range, so are you.
Yeah. Well, and it's.
Look out. Oh,
Oh, he's like right next to me. That is mean. Alright.
You got the same score as you did last time.
Yeah, I know. It's like.
All right. No comments from the peanut gallery so far, it looks like. I'm kind of shocked. Literate Juggalo, how was your Juggalo gathering? Did you spread literateness? Seriously? Gotcha. Ah, well, that was useful.
Uh-huh.
Come on, dude, where are you going? Boom. Well, he's cruising.
He stopped to admire the scenery.
Yeah. These nice Spectre graphics.
Yeah. Well, he's probably also looking at the moon. 'Cause
Yeah. I'm going to hide behind this transparent
yes,
pyramid.
well, that is definitely one of the strategies of the game is to put the obstacles in, and then see. Get them
Gotcha.
to- oh, there's a
Oh.
drone.
Damn. I heard a bullet.
Oh, he's behind.
I know.
Yeah, that's.
I'm trying to make a slow turn. Oh. Hey, hey. Ah!
Okay, look out! Shoot the drone. When that
Ah!
buzzing noise is basically a
Damn it.
very, very bad noise.
I could not fire fast enough.
Yeah.
Alright, so 1200 on that one.
This one's really fun in the arcade because I mean the sticks are like really good sticks, really big sticks that are designed to handle. And so like when I play this in the arcade, I'm like kind of slamming the sticks around, and so are like most other people.
There you go.
So it's in the arcade, this is like a much more physical game essentially than, which is kind of funny for an arcade game.
So Literate Juggalo says, no joke, had a Juggalo book club and book exchange, gave out bookmarks. And Isagul said to Literate Juggalo, that sounds awesome. That does sound awesome. Good for you, dude. I'm not sure what books... what books did you have, or did you give out as an exchange or anything? I'm trying to think of what would be a good Juggalo book. Besides, like, you know, The Making of Fago. Ah, run! Oh, hey, you got him though.
I got him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Figure right. You might get him. Oh, you got him.
I was lucky because his first shot was bad too.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
You got him.
Yeah, I know, but that's like.
Oh, you're still going. And there is a.
Wait.
You missed barely. It like flew right over him. Oh, nice. He's to your left. You did better though that time.
Yeah.
We actually tied.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, we did tie.
Yeah. That was our final token, wasn't it?
Wasn't that 3 times?
Oh, was that 3? Okay. You won the first one. I won the second one, and then we tied on the third.
I mean,
So-
I'm up on 3 times, and
okay.
you're up twice,
Twice.
so we
All right.
played 3 games.
All right, there we go. Literate Juggalo. Honestly, everything by Ray Bradbury tells similar stories to ones ICP tell. Horror show circus, evil carnivals, warnings of government censorship. All right. Not sure how Mars enters into it, but you know. Actually, it's kind of funny because I'm currently rewatching old Twilight Zone while I'm working, and in the 3rd season they had their only Ray Bradbury story, which was I Sing the Body Electric. And I did not know when I watched it, the girl, the oldest girl on there, that was Veronica Cartwright, who I know, Veronica Cartwright from Alien and Invasion of the Body Snatchers from the 70s and all that. And I'm like going, holy crap, she looks just like her once you know who she is. So, all right. It's just, you don't expect to see a kid version of them.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill Mooney on wordplay and quips from all of the Hitchhiker's Guide goes well. Yes. Bill Mooney. I will say on the commentaries, Bill Mooney's commentary on It's a Good Life is great because it starts off kind of like a regular commentary where he's talking about making it blah then he starts becoming sympathetic to his character. I'm blanking on the kid's name in the short, and then he's basically telling people, yeah, you better watch out, and it's just like he's gone from just an observer to hey, the kid's just trying to help them, to yeah, get them. So it was pretty funny. The worst is definitely Mickey Rooney because he was a grumpy old man the entire time he was on there. When they're saying they're trying to do an interviewer with him, and they're saying, well, kids, want to know, how they did things on this, and he goes, no, kids aren't watching this. The kids are watching. No, the kids aren't watching this. They're watching sexy things. It's just like, oh my God, did you take your Krabby Pat pills today or what? So, I swear to God, this guy kicks it in a turbo sometimes.
They left you a gift. Oh, wow, and you get the thing like
Boom.
immediately after that. Wow. They just lined that up for you.
I know.
Left.
I know. I'm trying to move. Move, buddy, move. Damn. It's like I could not get turned around. Shit. I heard the bullet. If they say you never hear the bullet with your name on it, well, that's not true.
Right. In this game, you do.
And I'm out.
Yeah, you still got 9.
Yeah.
So you're still up there.
Yeah. I just had that great first, 3. There you go. Alright, so you gotta beat 9,000 this time. And let's see, did I already put token in or not? Okay, go ahead. The for those of you who have not been or who have been paying attention, we started up with our monthly game of Betrayal Legacy, and I don't think he wants to die. I do kind of feel like we're playing Tron here. Well, we had our first game of Betrayal Legacy, and you guys just traded blows at point blank on that one.
Yeah.
That first one, it was a prologue. It went really, really well. It was a lot of fun. We'll be doing it again on the third Sunday of September. And
Yeah, that's...
we tied on that one too.
All right. Well,
so we ended up tying completely. One win each and 2 ties. But anyway, the Betrayal Legacy first one was a lot of fun. Definitely looking forward to the first real chapter. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So after that, we're gonna go with another tank game. We're gonna go with Assault. What the hell?
This thing really doesn't want to stay on the table.
Yeah. All right. Now, let me double check coins and our start buttons or our starts. I don't think this thing has segregated coinage, so
It said 1 and 2.
I know, but a lot of them say that.
Oh,
But
okay.
if they don't have them in the the dip switches, they usually don't really matter. So what we're going to do is we're going to... Okay, I guess we should watch real quick. Yeah, when you hit those 1 pads, they put you up in the air. I do know if you go this one, instead of just going forward and backwards on stick, you go left and right on them. If you go left, you can actually both one way or the other. You can roll, and if you go,
Oh, okay.
I know if you go apart, I think it's if you go apart, you can raise your tank up to shoot over things.
Huh. Okay.
This is just for me testing it out earlier.
Yeah, this game I've never played before, at
Yeah.
least as far as I remember. So...
Yeah. It'd be nice if they gave us a what to do.
Well, most of these games, the general adage is you say shoot everything.
Well, I meant on the controls. Because, like I said, I found out about... You were hit.
Yeah.
Not you're dead. You were hit. Okay. I'm going to give it one more pass through here to see if it gives us a controller thing. I do know this was one that I could not find a setting that took it to 1 token, 1 credit, so it's like 2 tokens per credit, so I'm just gonna toss in until we have, a total of 8 credits and go from there. And we'll just keep playing. It doesn't matter if you only use 4, if there's still credits to keep going, so if they segregate it. Yeah, they segregate it, so. Wait, why does it still say 1?
Credits 9.
Yeah.
You went 1 over.
Yeah, I did. Actually, dip switches. Okay. It'd been nice if the dip switches actually had something useful to say, but no, this is one of those where they're cryptic. So who knows? All right. Oh. Okay. No. All right. Okay, maybe. Okay, maybe we have to put them in later. All right. So I'm gonna hit mine. You hit your start button. See if it brings you in. No.
No.
All right. I know this is supposed to be a 2-player simultaneous. All right. I thought this was 2-player, so maybe it's not.
Certainly does not look like it at this point.
Yeah. It said it was. Oh, that's like
What was that button?
that was that back. I went like that. The two out, away from each other. And
The joysticks
yeah.
away from each other?
Yeah, and it.
Okay. So there's the turret.
Yep, and.
Okay, they are lined up for you. Oh, and it hopefully shows you which way you need to go.
Damn.
You were hit.
Yeah. I was. Okay. Well,
No, I guess you're playing the whole game. isn't it?
yeah, I guess we'll just switch over
Yeah.
from there. Okay. Now you assault on next stage. I'm thinking this was not done by a native English speaker.
Namco.
Yeah.
It.
Whoa. Ah.
Wow, and you got taken out by one of the, little
Yeah.
ones.
Yep. Jesus.
Yeah. There's a bunch of stuff in the water.
Yep. Alright. Yep, new space. But I don't think I can go too far. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. No. Alright. So then I guess I will be passing this over to you then. Sorry. It's the same shoot buttons are on the top, and then those control
joysticks, right?
Yep. And
Okay.
hit the start button. There's your 1-player. It could also be that the 2-player is one of those unhelpful dip switches that does not tell me any information.
Okay, I'm not sure. Okay. Okay, oh, that's weird. Okay. Alright, fine. These controls are really very weirdly touchy.
Yeah. That, huh?
Oh, the throw thing was.
Oh, hit both of the joysticks back, and that tilts you up. And then, of course, that jump is nice. The jump pad there. You were hit.
I didn't notice. Oh wow. Okay, apparently it can hide behind, but I can't? That was interesting. Alright.
It's nice to have a spinny tank.
Yeah, well, the bouncing around thing is definitely interesting. Nope, stuck against the wall.
Alright.
Alright.
Okay. So, I think I probably won on that one.
I think you're going to win on most of them, because that's like, I prefer Battlezone's controls more simple. Let's put it that way. That thing doesn't interpret the two sticks going in opposite directions quite the same way, or it's really touchy about interpreting them. Whereas Battlezone, I think, wasn't very touchy about it.
Yeah, see the dip switches on that one. It's like gives me no information of what it means.
Right.
So, all right. Here we go. Back here. I was.
This game begs a certain amount of commentary.
Yeah. Very weird little game. It's cute.
Yeah, really, I swear this is the same game engine that side monitor on the Amiga, but I'd have to go back and play it to figure that out.
Yeah. I swear one of those treads is really rough. On the left side, I have a hard.
Well, I think it does adjust it for when you're driving over rubble.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, stage 2 is a bit rougher than stage 1.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Oh. Okay.
The intelligence of... Oh, there we go.
Run away!
Okay,
Go.
I really wish we did not have it. Oh, come on. He's getting hit. He's right there. So do I have to go off and back on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And out by a little guy. Wow. Okay, those things must show up after a certain amount of time because I was pretty sure you didn't deal with those.
I think I nuked them from orbit there.
Oh, maybe. Okay, yeah. You were much better at that. Go right into it.
All right. Sorry, I should have checked on this. I thought it was 2-player co-op on that. It's like, oh, that'd be cool. I wondered how they handled when one person went suborbital there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my big problem with it is the controls, because they overloaded the stick.
Yeah.
Like, it will do two things at once, and it won't do either of them well. Whereas with Battlezone, basically, it's entirely tank controls. But with this one, there's so much stuff on the sticks that if it's not exactly straight in one way or the other, it does things you don't expect it to.
Oh, duh, wrong button. That's right. All right. Ooh, nice. control. You can only use it a certain number of times. See, it's not flashing red anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, see, there he is.
Okay, yeah. Now, they're not homing missiles, so once you get out of the crossfire.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Whoa. Gotcha. Boom. So, alright, so you only have a limited number of jumps. Ah. Was that blood?
Oh, it's plasma. Don't worry.
Try going this way. Oh, look. Ah, jump point. Boom.
It was lined up for you.
Yep. Oh, there's another one jumping over there. Mm-hmm. Keep moving. Just keep moving,
Yep.
and they can't get you. Ooh,
Wow. Okay.
somebody's garden.
Yeah. You lined up for
Ah!
that. Stabbed you in the back.
I know.
Ha!
This little guy.
Ha. Never down.
Yeah.
So you better start doing that.
Yeah.
Those things, once they lose missiles, that's ugly.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the missiles have moved to the point where they shoot at you while they're aiming at something else.
Whoa. Oh, shoot.
Okay, those look like much bigger guns.
Hey, alright.
Nice job, you got to the top.
Yeah. So, and I learned the secret on that second stage. So it's like you gotta learn the secret of each stage.
Yeah, well that was the point of even these old Twitch games is you gotta basically work to figure out what the mechanism is you need to get through each of the stages.
Alright. I mean, all in all, it's not a bad little game, especially once you kind of get used to the controls on there. It's
controls are the big thing for me that I'm
yeah.
having serious trouble with.
Yeah. I'm more of learning how to work with the controls, whereas Battlezone was is much more of, I don't want to say realistic, but it's more of, okay, this way, you know. I guess the simple controls on that work better. I did see when I was looking through trying to find which ones to use these two sticks on that were similar. They have the Bradley Tank Simulator on here that Atari did for the Army, and it's essentially a different, a souped up version of Battlezone because it's the same graphics and all that. But it requires more analog controls and everything, so it was like, oh, this is gonna need more sticks. So.
The little bastards sneak around behind you and then like nail you in the back. That's always me.
That's a lesson in life.
Range.
Oh, that's like missiles. Oh. Let's see, what's we got?
And that's it.
Han RM1, hey Han Rama, and another TV viewer, hi. So, see, I see. Sometimes I feel like Romper Room on here. I need to hold up a little mirror. I see Bobby, and I see Jimmy, and probably no one in there will get that reference at all. Because you have to have been born in like the 70s to get a Romper Room reference. So, all right, last token here on for me, and last token will, for Mowgli. Let's do this.
Remember to get the one behind you. Otherwise, he will come back later.
Yep. Whoa. Damn. I hit the wall.
Yeah.
I was doing so good. Come on, move it. Ah! Ooh, I might not do so good on this one.
You dove right into it.
Yep. There.
Yeah.
Isagul. Gwen says hi. Hi, Gwen. Hi, Gwenny. Gwen is our little daughter, and she likes watching her daddy on Twitch from another room. So.
Uh-huh. What's safer that way?
Ah!
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was getting hung up on one of my treads. Alright. Well, that's the worst I've done. Alright. So, Literate Juggalo, you guys, you need to get the Juggalos into Terry Pratchett stuff. That's the magic. That's the magic books right there. Terry Pratchett is awesome.
That is totally true.
Yep.
Although, in general, start with the third one. Because the first two are not great.
Yeah, it is kind of funny. I was reading some trivia on him, and they said how, because the first two books, which are Rincewind oriented, Rincewind the Wizard, you've got The Light Fantastic and oh man, I'm blanking on the first. The Color of Magic and Light Fantastic. Both of them, are decent, but they're not as good as he would later become. Well, the
I'm definitely not doing that right. Because I cannot figure out how I'm getting the things to.
Isgol, yes, he is. Most everything is great. Yeah. But he, didn't really want to keep writing Rincewind, so he's going on to other things. However, a lot of the fans were wanting another Rincewind book. So he wrote a book called Sorcery, which was another Rincewind book, and it didn't do so hot. And so he was just like, well, screw that. I'm going to write what I want to write. So that was pretty funny. Good old Sir Terry.
Those guys like to sneak around.
Yep. Oh. Oof. I was just waiting for him to fire. I was like, he's gonna fire at you. He's gonna fire. Nope, he did. All right. Oh. Yeah, that rolling is nice sometimes.
Right, well the thing is to get them.
That's as far as you got. Yeah.
I made it past stage 1.
I know, you did it.
My highest score ever.
Yeah. Technically, I think you're going to win on this round. So.
Well, yeah.
I mean, we weren't keeping track of the score, but.
No, you've won every other round. I mean,
Yeah.
that's. Oh.
Yeah, them little guys.
Yeah, well, and that should be it. Yep.
So.
So I didn't get very far on that, but.
That's okay. All right, so there we go. So that is Assault and Battlezone. There are two tank games, two very different tank games. I think Mowgli, prefers Battlezone.
Well, so my issue is mainly with the controller in Assault, and so what I would do is in Assault I would remap the rolling and the outward part of the sticks
Yeah.
to the two lower buttons and make the sticks only be for movement. And if you make the sticks only be for movement and basically use the Battlezone movement,
Yeah.
then I think this game becomes much better. Otherwise, like I hadn't played it before now, and my main thing was trying to learn how to use the controls. That would take a while in this game.
I think on Battlezone, one thing that it's definitely missing out on a little bit, and they probably have it in that Bradley tank simulator that they'd released for the Army, is it'd be nice to elevate the gun a little bit,
Yep.
Because sometimes it's like, yeah, I want to shoot over, yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. Battlezone. I mean, again, the vector graphics machines of the day were not. I mean, the CPU at that point was not really handling a lot, and
Yeah.
the AI, the game AI, was not really handling a lot. Was not capable of a lot in
Yeah.
those days. So there were certain limitations, basically, that they just took the simple, straightforward approach,
Yeah.
and everything is on a plane.
Yep. Yeah, so, sort of like Wolfenstein and
Yeah, that's another 2D.
a 2D almost or a 2D that and was it not Quake Doom
Well,
looks like it's 3D, looks like you're on 3 dimensions, but it's not really, because you can't really aim up and down in Doom. It's just when
Right.
you're going, it's just clever map manipulation to make it feel like that.
Well, the visuals in Doom are three-dimensional. I mean, they make the effort because they have the CPU by that point
Yeah.
to actually do 3D stuff. One of my favorite games to do, and the really earliest example, I think, of the 3D stuff, and it wasn't a vector game, but it was for the black and white Macintoshes
Mhm.
back in the day, was Maze War, which was also a network game where you were in a maze with other people, and your goal was to find the other people and shoot them before they shot you.
Yeah.
It was basically Doom, a very, very simplified version of Doom. But this is back in 1985 or 1986. I think 86 maybe. I'd have to look it up exactly. And there again, they give you the three-dimensional thing, but everything is 2D. It's a 2D game.
Yeah.
It's just that the graphics are in 3D. So you get a better illusion that you're there, but that's all you're getting out of it.
If you ever get a chance, there have been some of those the graphing calculators and all that. They have ported Doom to
Did
those. Yes. So
I did not know that. That would be wacky.
not saying it plays well.
Right. Yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, you probably have to have a fairly expensive in the day graphing calculator,
Yeah.
or to have the CPU to do that kind of stuff, because that was not what the calculator was designed to do.
No. Heck, when I was in college, my freshman year, we were excited because some of the calculators could play Tetris. So, all right, guys, that is it for now. We're gonna switch this over to the credits. Come back tomorrow night at 10 for Cliffhanger Theater, Chapter 6 of Dick Tracy, and then and also it's going to be partnered with the educational film is called Soapy the Germ Fighter. Yeah, and then next Thursday we will have 4 tokens again at 6 o'clock as normal, and then remember 3rd Sunday in September we will be doing Chapter 1. Since we already did Chapter 0, we already did the prologue of Betrayal Legacy, and it has been a blast so far. It's of course I think we should probably make sure we say at the beginning of each of those spoilers. So see you guys later. I have to make sure to put up the screen because I always forget sometimes.
Oh, the arcade.
Yeah, well, the Patreon ones and all that, because I created
okay.
that. There we go.